2 weeks ago, I was stuck in an airport for 5 hours because of a flight delay. As bad as that sounds, it did give me lots of time for one of my favorite pastimes, which is people watching. As travelers rushed past me, I wondered who they were, where they were going, what made them tick. Matthew Kelly tells a story about a man named Peter who was in an airport doing the same thing. And he witnessed one family's reunion. A dad getting off of a flight, hugging each of his kids, and then embracing and kissing his wife. There was so much love and affection that Peter imagined that they'd been separated for weeks or perhaps even months. But when he asked him, the man's answer surprised Peter. "I've been away 2 whole days." And upon learning that they had been married for 12 years, Peter's reply was, "Well, I hope that my marriage is that loving after 12 years. And here was the man's answer. Don't hope, decide. Don't hope, decide. Great advice for any committed relationship, especially for a marriage. What that man was saying to Peter is that the love in his marriage, it wasn't automatic, it wasn't magical or accidental, it's a conscious decision. It's the result of effort and commitment. It requires making numerous little choices every day. Decisions about what to do or say or what not to do or say. And deciding to put the other person first. Today we're celebrating World Marriage Day. Catholics believe that when a couple receives the sacrament of matrimony, Christ becomes an equal partner in their marriage. The two become one and then are joined to Christ. And with Christ in the marriage, the two can be a source of blessing to each other. Blessings rather than woes. And this was the challenge that Jesus gave his followers in the gospel today. The passage we heard is referred to as the Beatitudes. It was a lesson on how to find happiness in this life and eternal life in the world to come. Now, the version of the Beatitudes we heard today is from Luke's Gospel. And Luke gives us something unique. Jesus followed his Beatitudes with some woes. He said, "But woe to you who are rich, for you have received your consolation. Woe to you who are filled now, for you will be hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will grieve and weep. Woe to you when all speak well of you, for their ancestors treated the false prophets in this way." Now, these things would not have been obvious to the people in Jesus' audience. I don't even think they're obvious today. Given a choice, wouldn't you rather be rich than poor, well-fed instead of hungry? Wouldn't you rather laugh than weep, or be well-liked instead of despised? I would. I think we all would. So why is Jesus saying that we have things all mixed up? To figure this out, I suggest we focus on one little word Jesus used, which gives these verses some context. That word is now. Woe to you who are filled now. Woe to you who laugh now. He's warning that being rich and well-fed and happy are not permanent conditions. Fortunes can change. Life can change in an instant. Those who were up might soon be down, and vice versa. And haven't we all experienced this over the past 2 years? So understanding this point about the impermanence of our earthly condition, Jesus' point is that the goal of life is not to have our every need satisfied now, and that we should rely on God to fill us. For God alone can satisfy those deepest hungers and longings we all have. When we depend on God and keep Him at the center of our lives, Jesus says we are much better off. So this whole section from Luke could be summarized this way. Don't spend your life chasing after money, possessions, or power. Instead, focus on the things of God. Decide to live for what is lasting and eternal. So when a person gives his or her life to Christ, makes Jesus an equal partner, it becomes possible to love God and others wholeheartedly. This is especially true in a marriage. Christ must be at the very center of the couple's relationship. The blessing, the beatitude of married life, is found when each person in the marriage puts God and the other person first. But as that man in the airport told Peter, it's not automatic. It's a deliberate big decision which requires numerous little decisions every day. This past December, on the Feast of the Holy Family, Pope Francis shared what he says are the three most important words in a marriage: please, thanks, and sorry. Words that sound so simple, but are so often left unsaid. Let's take them one at a time. Please. Don't be demanding of the other person. Instead, always say please. It shows respect for your spouse. It shows how much you value and appreciate them and all they do for you. So always say please. Thanks. When your spouse does anything for you, don't forget to say thanks. Whether it's something small like pouring you a cup of coffee, or something big like caring for you when you're sick. It's just a simple word, but it expresses gratitude for your spouse and that you aren't taking him or her for granted. And sorry. When you make mistakes, and you do make mistakes, apologize. Be the bigger person. Take the first step to reconcile or clean up your mess when you do or say something wrong. Please, thanks, sorry. With these three words in the vocabulary of a marriage, the relationship is healthier, it's happier, and it is stronger. In any marriage, there will be challenges, disagreements, and even heated discussions. When you struggle or fall down, get up and begin again. And turn to Christ, the partner in your marriage, who can renew and strengthen your bonds of love. As promised, I'll end today's message with the renewal of vows. So I now invite all married couples to stand and renew your vows.